Okay, hey, it is Mega here. Um, I'm doing a quick comparison video between the two pistons for my KLX140 rebuild. This piston and all these parts, they came from SXParts.com. So if you're wondering where I got these parts, I got them from here. They sell like a host of engine modification parts or upgrade parts for the KLX140 and other motorcycles. I think they're based out of Indonesia. I think. I'll put a subtitle if that's wrong. So if you're looking for this stuff, that's where you can find it. I think they still have it. This kit came with the big bore piston, all these parts here. It came with the cylinder to match it, and it came with a CDI, a performance CDI. I don't know if I ordered it separately or if it came with the kit, and a performance camshaft. I think the CDI is like a level 2, stage 2 CDI, and the camshaft is a stage 2. It's designed to be all put together. It's a kit. So the CDI is tuned for the cams and all that stuff. So good stuff. Basically, you just gotta take your old stuff out and put your new stuff in. That's the way that kit was designed. Okay, so before I put the new piston in, let's go compare the old piston to the new one. So on the right is our stock piston, obviously, because it doesn't look brand new. And on the left is our new big bore piston. So the one immediate thing I can tell you right now is this one looks like it's a higher compression piston. It's got a dome on it. So if you look here, if I hold them right next to each other on the camera, there's a dome. See, there's a little part in the middle peeking out. So that leads me to believe this is a higher compression piston. Now, they didn't mention anything about that on the website when I bought it. So yeah, how much compression it is, I'll put a subtitle below if I ever figure it out. I don't know, but it's got to be higher than this. The KLX140 has, according to the service manual, a 9.5 to 1 compression ratio. Now when I did the compression test before we tore it down, I got 225 psi. That's a lot more than 9.5 to 1. I think a 9 to 1 is like a 180 or something, somewhere around 180. 9.5, yeah, maybe close to 200 for 9.5. But 225 LXR 25 psi is more like a 10 or like a 10.5, somewhere between 10 and 10.5. So I don't know how much this one will be. I'm kind of worried that the valves are going to hit it. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But the camshaft came with it, so I don't know. Hopefully it does. We don't have any interference problems. Hopefully not. All right. So yeah. So you can tell the tops of the pistons are different. It looks like there's something of a little dome on top of this one. I can kind of see a little ring right here. But if you look at it, it's pretty clear that the new piston has a dome on it and has bigger relief cuts into it because the dome goes up. But if you look at it, the dimensions are pretty much the same. Right where the tops line up is the same, except there's just a dome on it. So yeah. It looks like the valve reliefs are cut bigger, cut more than this. So I'll actually have more valve relief. So I guess that's a good thing. It's not good to have your valves hit the piston, Same piston setup too. It's got an upper and a second ring. Also, I noticed that the ring lands, I didn't measure them, but it looks like the ring lands are the same, the distances between them, but the oil rings, it looks like the oil ring groove is bigger than the stock piston. It definitely looks bigger. It's kind of hard to tell in the video, but I just by looking at it, it looks like the oil ring is a little was it the oil separator ring or the expander ring? Is a little thing. Also, the skirts are different. So this has this kind of ribs. It's kind of a ribbed kind of pattern to it. I can run my fingernails over it and I can feel it. But it also has these ribs cut into it horizontally. I don't know what these are. What they could be is for like better cooling or oiling. The oil gets in there and it cools it down. That's what it could be. And then both sides have it. So This one does not have it, but it does have that ribbing on it. I can feel it. Yeah, and you can tell this piston is been scuffing up the cylinder a little bit. Maybe it's just not been treating the engine. This is why you should let your engine warm up, I guess, properly. But I guess that's I don't know, that's more than like 50 hours of use right there. So I think I got way more than that. But all right. So I also noticed that there's little ports right here. There's 4 ports. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the other side, there's another 4. The stock piston does not have that. No ports. So I think that's also has to do with some kind of cooling. It lets the oil flow between the piston a little better. So this is definitely an upgrade piston. Whether it's forged or not, I'm not sure. It's a FIM piston. There you go. Same company that made the rings. This is the rings box for it. And there's an exhaust marker here, and the cutout, the little groove to pull out the snap ring is in a different position. It's the opposite. Oh no, okay, never mind. It's not the opposite. I guess they're different on different sides. Yeah. Okay. This has an exhaust marker right here. On the other one, I do not know where it is. Let's see if we can find it. Maybe it's on the bottom. It says ART here. I think it says 1-1 or something. There's an L here. There's no way to tell the front. Also, you can see the oil ports. You can see the oil ports down there. It's kind of hard to see. It's a little dark, but if you look down here, you can see the oil ports here too. That's pretty cool. There's a 2 marking in there. It's only 1 piston though, so yeah. So there's no marking to tell you what's what. There might be a marking if we kind of take off all this carbon. You know, it looks like this might have a dome on it because I see a little circular pattern here. But we'd have to shave off all that carbon. But I can tell you which side is the right side of the engine, because the right side still has the circlip, which is this one. So it would be the engine facing the front of the bike would be this way, like that. And is that right? Exhaust? Yeah. So it would be, this is the way you would install them. And you can visibly tell the new piston, just by looking at it, you can tell the new piston is bigger. So, and we'll go find that out right now. I'll go bust out Mr. Caliper. Okay, so I got Mr. Caliper here. I remember I measured this before. I think it was around 62 millimeters. Let's see. Yeah, 62, pretty much 62. I'll go measure the stock one. Whoa, 57. There you go, man. So it's like an extra 5 millimeters of diameter. Yeah, 57. 57.5. Yeah, 57.5 almost. So there you go. Was it 62 and 57? That's 5 millimeters difference in bore size. So this is definitely bigger. Yeah. We can measure the skirts maybe. From the bottom of the skirt to the top of the piston. We won't measure the dome. $37.6 millimeters. And this one is 33. Wow, it's big difference. Oh wait, hold on. I'm not measuring it the same way. The skirt, from the bottom of the skirt. 41.5. So what was this one again? 40. Oh, it's smaller. 37. 37.6. 41. Yeah, so 4 millimeters. So this one is a little actually taller. From the skirt to the top of the piston is like almost like 4 millimeters. So yeah, I guess the height of this piston is smaller, but the dome is taller. Yeah, let's go measure from the top of the dome to the skirt. Maybe that's the same. Maybe there's really no reason to have that dome. I don't know. Yeah, 40. So that's more like that one. So there you go. The dome. This one is dome, but the overall size of the piston, the height of the piston from the top to the skirt to the very top of the piston where the dome is, it's pretty much the same. So yeah, that's interesting thing to note. So there you go. So those are the difference between the SXParts piston that I got in the big bore kit. It's obviously it's a bigger diameter, so it's going to give you a bigger displacement. It's got a dome on it. The other one does not have a dome. I don't know. We'll see how the compression is when we get the engine together and we've broken it in a little bit. This has some kind of ribs on the side of the skirts, and it has some ports down here on the side. Oh, okay. Remember those ports are okay. Well, the ports actually protrude onto here. This one has those ports, but they don't protrude onto the outside of the piston. You don't see them on the outside of the piston. So that's something interesting. The ports are larger on this because you can see them. You can visibly see them right here. This one you can't see them, but the ports are there for both pistons. So those are that's where the oil comes up into the bottom of the piston, and it splashes it on the cylinder walls. So yeah, there you go. I would think, oh, that's a good question. I wonder if we have to use the stock wrist pin. Let's go take this out of the package. Let's go take the other wrist pin out. So let's go compare the two wrist pins real quick. So the stock wrist pin is about 14 millimeters. Okay. The new wrist pin is 14. It's the same. It's the same. It's exactly the same. Almost. Pretty much. This one is, you can tell it's kind of worn out. You can feel it. It's been, rotating so much. But yeah, it's the same size. But we'll use the new one. Let me see. The new one is thinner. There you go. The new one is thinner. Let's see how much it weighs too. Yeah, actually, let's do that. Let's do a weight comparison also. Okay, so we got my scale here. So let's go. We're gonna go weigh the pistons. So both of these pistons are the same, except there's a snap ring in this one. I haven't installed the snap ring on this one yet, but it's got the piston with the rings installed already. So, all right. So we're gonna go measure the brand new piston. 4.8 ounces. 4.8 ounces. There you go. New piston. Now the new piston may be a little heavier because it's got oil on it too, so the oil might make it a little heavier, but 3.8. So the new piston, obviously the new piston is bigger, it's heavier. It's like almost, it's pretty much an ounce heavier. 3.8 was it? Versus 4.6. Yeah, 4.8. Pretty much an ounce heavier. So this is actually a little heavier than stock. So it might not spin as fast. That's a good question. Okay, so let's do the wrist pin. So we found out the wrist pin is the same size, but it's not as thick. It's not as thick. Maybe that's to account for the weight. So maybe this will be one less. So this is 0.6 ounces. Oh, 0.8 ounces it says. Okay. And the stock one is 1 ounce. So this wrist pin is almost like 1/4 of an ounce lighter than that one. So, but this one is an ounce. The new one is an ounce heavier. So I guess if you subtract that, the whole assembly weighs, yeah. So it's almost 3/4 of an ounce. So this is the whole assembly is 3/4 of an ounce heavier than the stock. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but that's, I mean, just the way it is. It's a bigger piston. It's going to weigh a little more. It's got more material on it. All right, so I know as I say, every little bit counts on this bike, man. That's what I'm gonna say. Every little bit counts. This bike could use every little ounce of extra power it can get. You know, it's because it's so small. All right, so I think that's it. That's the end of our little comparison. I just remembered about the weight just there, so yeah. Okay, there's another thing I wanted to mention. The clocking of the piston ring. So I was pretty surprised when I looked at it yesterday that the piston ring end gaps are pretty much almost on top of each other. They're like a little less than an inch, you know. Same thing with the oil rings. Look at the oil rings are right next to each other. There's one gap right here. There's one gap right here. So the way they said to do it in the book. Okay, so this is the right side of the engine right here. So this is the front. We're looking at it. The front is this way. So the way the book tells you to do it is the top ring should be facing 12 o'clock, and the second ring should be facing 6 o'clock. So they should be opposite, 180 degrees. And then you got I think the expander ring is 12 o'clock, and then I think 45 degrees is the other oil, or like 30 degrees, I think, from 12 o'clock is one of the oil rings, and then the second one is that way. So they're all supposed to be there, but they're all like here on the side. Yeah, pretty much. If anything, one of them is in the right place, but the other one isn't. The two compression rings are not in the right place. They're both facing this way. One of them should be going this way, and one should be going the other way. So that's according to the manual. And I don't think I moved it a whole lot since I took it out. I just took it out right now. And I'm not really sure where the expander ring is right now. So anyway, we're gonna go make sure we reclock everything, or just double check clocking the piston rings before we install it, or before we install it, or install the cylinder too. So here you can see, where's the front? The front's over here. So the way I have it, the way I did it is, so it's almost like a 1 o'clock, but number one, piston ring 1 is 12 o'clock, so you can see that right there. Piston 2 is 6 o'clock, you can see that right there. Like I said, I might have to reclock it. And then in the front, so this little blue mark is where the separation is on the left right here. So the separator ring, oil separator ring is 12 o'clock, and then you have pretty much like you have a 10 and 2 dealie. There's the bottom one, the bottom oil rail is 10 o'clock, and the top oil rail is at 2 o'clock. It's going like that. So that's the way it should be. Now I could understand, yeah, they probably do move around, you know, so they could probably moved around after so long. So I'm not really sure about that, but that's the way I found it when I took it out. And the way I have it in the way the book says to do it is the way I did this one. So that's the way we're gonna keep it. It may just move around on its own, you know. All right, here's my go. Interesting stuff. And like I said, if you're looking for that kit that I bought, SXParts.com. Thus far, I've been pretty happy with the stuff that I got, the kit that I got. All right. Here's my go. Hope you guys learned something.